What's up, heroes? My name is Sylarclone, and welcome back to Crystalline. Today is Onward to the Shadow Temple after our rather upsetting evening last night. So after we pack up camp, we continue towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. I mean, walking in sand is very tough to begin with. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. I take a swig from my canteen. Thankful we packed before heading out. I wonder how Zack can manage to keep his trench coat on this whole time. Even Leanna looks a little stuffy in her armor. Cara is the only one who doesn't seem bothered by the weather. That's right, Zack's got a black trench coat of all things. How is he surviving? I just don't get it. After what seems to be forever, we come across a temple ruin into the night. I think we've made it. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep, old magic. I can feel it from here, something fizzy and crackly. A type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Leanna nods.
Yeah.
Cara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void.
I think the correct answer to that is everywhere. But wouldn't it be good to get a good night's sleep beforehand, especially if we've been traveling for a while? Why not rest up, be fresh, so when we come and fight tomorrow, or whenever we come to fight, our minds are sharp. If we're exhausted from being in the sun all day, this is not a good idea. But we'll see what we do.
Or whatever else we might find in there.
There might be other things, that's right. Leanna draws her sword. Her manipulator already gives off a faint glow. Already my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone, stay close.
Yes, Captain. We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from somewhere. It wisps around the back of my neck like the lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me. I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in a desert? Wow. This looks like it was an old amphitheater of sorts based on the windows that are here. This is quite impressive. Hot damn. The walls are gray and etched with glowing lime green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are the hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching onward. After what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Leanna frowns.
This is strange. No one is here.
It's very strange. Cara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Leanna's brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them, or seen them by now.
Zack's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
A chill runs down my spine. It could be a trap.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
The others agree. That does sound like a good plan.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zack leads the way with his guard up. Cara stays close to him, with Leanna and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be getting darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light grows fainter and fainter, and the shadows grow longer and longer.
Be careful.
No shit. Leanna's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me a minute ago. Leanna? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. No echoes resound. In fact, I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore as the shadows thicken the air. Soon, the darkness overtakes me, and I stumble, my hands out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I met with silence. That's not good. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel the whisper of a breath on the back of my neck. Then suddenly, it stops. Spoopy. The library is far more quiet than I would have expected at this time of night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Whoa, that was too close. I blink my eyes wide open, then I stifle a yawn as I stretch to wake myself up. What's going on? Focus. Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice that I'm the only person left in the study cubicles. It's getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorms as soon as I finish this last chapter. This is oddly reminiscent of the very beginning. I flip through the book. Only a few more pages to go. I can do this. This is the beginning. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The words on the books blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open, but my lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Something jerks me awake and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I can see is a stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. After a few seconds pass, the light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow of the library bulbs. Carefully, I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at a pale blue sky. A mild breeze tussles my hair. Blades of grass tickle my neck as they wave in the wind. We're at the beginning. I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. A round blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
Why does this guy look kind of familiar? When it notices my stare, it opens its small mouth and takes a dainty bite of my nose. Hey! The creature's bite doesn't sting, but feels like a cool splash of water. Before I can take another, I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off of my head and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes itself off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed.
Boy!
Why are we at the beginning? It hops onto my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot and into the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy!
It pouts and continues to watch me, but it doesn't attempt another bite. Pongo?
Boy?
I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There is a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow it with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of a village in the far distance. Where in the hell am I? The last thing I remember is...
Boy!
I glance down at the blue creature. What? At my response, it leaps up.
Boy!
The heck is going on? The Pongo jumps higher than I remember. It startles me and I instinctively step back. I don't notice the other person until too late. We painfully collide and I lose my balance before toppling over. Fortunately, my hands catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long blonde hair is splayed up around her. She lets out a small groan. She blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze on me. Wait, she looks familiar. This girl. I know her. Wait, Liana? She blinks.
What?
I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about her. Something that happened. Why am I getting pulled into like a Doki Doki Literature Club thing? Why do I feel like someone punched me in the gut?
Get off me!
Huh? A flash of blue light stings my eyes. Suddenly I'm shoved off with a roaring wind. It groans and shoves me backwards onto the ground. Ow! Leanna scrambles to her feet. She draws her sword. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Leanna, what are you doing? Her eyes narrow.
How do you know my name?
What? Confusion washes over me. What are you saying? For some reason, my heart clenches. Something about Liana seems painful, but I can't put my finger on why that is. My stomach squirms. I rise to my feet. You don't remember me? Liana doesn't answer. She watches me, her gaze cool and guarded. I shift under her stare. I glance around the place. It looks like I'm in a meadow. Hey, where are we? Her defense stays up.
What do you mean, where are we?
Something just feels off. Maybe you can show me the way to the... I try to remember. Where did she take me before? She led me somewhere, didn't she? The Mage Academy. Can you take me there? I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Get away from me, you creep!
Horror washes over me. What? She spins on her heel with a whirl of blonde hair and dashes away. What? Wait! But it's no use. She doesn't stop. This isn't right. This isn't how I remember things going. Something is off. It has to be. But I glance around. Where am I? I'm in Meadow Hill. Duh. Yeah. This place was called Meadow Hill. It looks the same, but somehow it feels so different. After Meadow Hill, Liana led me to the Mage Academy where Zack and Amy joined our group. But Cara joined us somewhere else. Where was that? That was at Ember Mist. Because we didn't get to Stonecrest just yet. She had joined before Stonecrest. That was Ember Mist. Is it? Oh, this is making me double check everything. Because... oh god, this is really going to make me have to think on this one, actually. Yeah, it was Ember Mist. It had to be, because that's how we got into the Fire Temple. We found the Lost City without her, so Ember Mist. Ember Mist, that was it. She helped us get through the Fire Temple. And we've been traveling together for a long time, but I can't shake this feeling that something significant happened recently. Where did we all last go together? We were just in Maja. That's right. The city outside Haven Guard where Liana... My mind freezes. Where she broke up with me. It feels like I was just punched in the gut. All of this isn't right. Liana and I... we were together. We aren't strangers. This place. It can't be the real Meadow Hill. This can't be the real Asaria. As soon as that last thought passes through my head, the sky cracks. A shimmer of warmth rushes into Meadow Hill and floods it with white light. I cringe and shield my eyes with my hands. I jerk awake. The light is gone.
Boy!
Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my chest, but he looks like a blurry blue blob. I blink rapidly, forcing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears. Hi, buddy. He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me. His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's all right. I'm okay. The Pongo perks up at my voice. I reach out and pet the top of his head. Hey, it's okay. He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops into my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. What was that? The hell if you got mine? I'm just as confused as you are. Some Doki Doki Literature Club type shit there, just kind of messing with my mind. First they break my heart, now they mess with my brain. Great. I feel the Pongo shrug.
Boy.
So you didn't see any of that? He blinks.
Boy.
Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the blurriness from my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Leanna's the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Liana? I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Then, slowly, the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. Isn't this Liana's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a Mage-Knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a Mage-Knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
I think I might know what's going on, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still very, very confused. Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a Mage-Knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a Mage-Knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap, as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth, as if he wants to speak out, but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's voice.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Then, her parents laugh.
Fine.
Excuse me, what? Shock spreads across Leanna's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, Then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
Her father would never say that. That's not what her father said. I'm calling BS right here. None of this is right. Her father was mortified when Leanna suggested throwing away her family name before. Leanna, that isn't your father.
What?
She looks around. Can she hear me? I try raising my voice. Think about it. Your father would never say something like that. She freezes. Yes! She can hear me. Don't you think all of this is strange? Her head turns in the direction of my voice, but I don't think she can see me.
Liana, are you listening to me?
She turns to face him. Her posture becomes straighter.
I understand now.
She shakes her head.
I understand now. You are not my family. My father would never say something like that.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. It engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the light slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Leanna is still on the ground. She gasps awake. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her.
I think so.
Oh, thank goodness. Leanna lets out a deep sigh.
I'm happy all of that was just a terrible dream.
She shivers.
I know that's not how it happened, but hearing it was still unnerving.
You're telling me. I nod. She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I nod. Leanna glances around. She must have spotted the others because her face furrows in concern.
Are they okay? What's happening to them?
I think I know. I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her stand, and then we drag our way over to the others. Zack is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he was just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zack facing? I can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Leanna nods. Together, we bend down and touch his arm. There's that same low moaning sound, a flash of light. Leanna and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around to see Zack sitting around a campfire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter, and Zack joins in their merriment. I was expecting something darker, but he's actually happy. My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zack glances over at a few cards in his hands. I notice the others are also hunched over their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
We went really far back. My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Leanna's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
That's his father figure. I nod, remembering some of the stories Zack told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as humble and strong as Zack described him to be. Damon chuckles. Please show us what Damon looks like.
Not today, my boy.
Oh, now I'm sad. I wanted to see Damon. Zack sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zack. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
That freaking snake. Zack frowns. Fair chuckles. He has the same bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of the marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zack grudgingly hands over his cards. A grin sprawls across Veyer's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their head back and groan, but they're laughing. Zack shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Veyer shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zack's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zack.
Zack smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zack, this isn't real. Zack pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
He shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
You did. Stop ignoring me. Veyer laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zack?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Leanna frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
He's not going to want to, but we're going to have to make him. Hey, dinner's ready. Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zack is about to dig in, someone hands Veyer a bowl. It's twice the size as everyone else's. Zack barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
There it is. Veyer flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zack, after we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zack blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
Bear needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zack blinks.
Wait.
Zack's held breath seems to leave his body.
The Crystal Rail?
Veyer lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization watches over him. Zack's face pales.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zack looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. Help Zack, let him come to the realization. I'm gonna straight up help him on this one. We're gonna try to get him out of here, otherwise I don't think he will. You ran point on that mission, Zack, not Veyer. Veyer betrayed you. Zack's brows furrow. I know he heard me.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zack, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zack's eyes go dark. It sounds like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No, we have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him.
What are you talking about?
He lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zack slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No,
His bangs cover his eyes.
this isn't real.
Sorry, buddy. Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zack looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice, seeing all of you again.
I don't want to feel 2 episodes in a row, but I'm feeling again. The group looks at him, but no one speaks. Zack stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
Zack nods.
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
I'm glad he's able to admit it. He stares down at Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
A bright light bursts across her eyes. God, that one was super feely, damn it. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arms over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, A few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back in the temple. Zack groans, slowly hoisting himself up. He rubs his head. Leanna's brows crinkle.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I hope so. Despite what happened, he seems to be at peace. I think that's finally something that he needed to settle, and that's actually a good illusion for him to have. Just to realize it's time to move on. These illusions use our memories. A shiver runs down the length of my spine. How does this place know so much about us? Zack shrugs. He doesn't offer any answers. Of course he doesn't. Leanna, meanwhile, seems just as spooked as I am.
I don't know. We'd better help the others before they slip further away.
Agreed. We need to get to both of the other two. I nod. We walk a little further down the corridor before finding Cara. Her brown ponytail is sprawled out behind her. Her face is wrought like she's having a nightmare. She flinches as we crouch down. I notice Zack's jaw is tight. He reaches out and touches her shoulder, and Liana and I follow suit. There's a flash of light. I don't think we're going to enjoy this one. Yep, I'm definitely going to feel, and I don't want to feel right now. When it fades, I find myself standing between Liana and Zack inside a small room.
My decision is final.
Uh-oh. Huh? I look up. Zack is standing across from Cara with his arms crossed. Wait, what? I glance at Zack, the Zack beside me, and then back to the scene. Is that other Zack an illusion? Cara's eyes shimmer with tears.
What did I do wrong?
What?
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Cara's face crumples.
Please, don't.
She crosses her arms, hugging herself.
Please.
Don't pretend to be sorry now. You deserve to be alone.
Wow.
What?
The hell just happened here? The real Zack's face curdles into a snarl.
You bastard.
He lunges forward and punches the fake Zack in the face.
Ow!
He stumbles backwards, clutching his nose.
What the hell?
Fury contorts real Zack's face.
What is wrong with you? What? Who are you?
Zack strikes him again, so hard his head reels to the side.
Ow!
Zack on Zack fighting action. Interesting.
Like hell, I'm gonna let you walk away from the greatest thing that happened in your life.
He said it. He said the thing. The other Zack rubs his jaw. His eyes stare wide at real Zack. I could see the shock and dismay in them. It's a weird look.
How are you even doing this?
Zack punches him again in response. Hold Zack back. Why are you hitting yourself? Don't interfere. I'm just gonna... You know what? At this point, I think she's kind of figured it out, so let's... You know what? I'm just gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna let him do his thing. Zack seems to have the situation under control. He doesn't need my help. Cara blinks.
Wait.
It seems as though she's just now beginning to process what's going on. She looks between the two Zacks. I could see the cogs turning in her head, piecing everything together. Finally, she smiles. A blush dusts her cheeks.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
He did say that. A white light shimmers. It blooms and sparkles over the entire area. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back inside of the temple. Zack growls and swings forward, his fist whistling through the air. He stumbles and rights himself at the last minute.
Where is that guy?
He's not real, Zack. He's an illusion. He whirls around, searching for him. Cara beams. She rushes over and throws her arms around Zack. Zack freezes. Cara snuggles her head into the crook of his neck. Aww.
So?
What?
You can't get away from this. We all saw it.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
That is what he said, verbatim. Zack's face flushes ruby red.
I only said that so you'd wake up.
Bullshit. She continues to nuzzle him.
No take-backsies.
He turns away, still red, but he doesn't fight out of her grasp. Of course he wouldn't. I clear my throat. You guys, we still have to help Amy. Cara blinks, noticing us for the first time, and her expression becomes serious. She steps away from Zack, but not before snatching his hand. He gives her a confused look as she interlocks their fingers.
Come on, let's go find Amy.
Agreed. Let's let the two of them do whatever it is they're gonna do. We walk a little further along and find Amelia. She's sprawled across the floor. Her face, usually a mask of calm, is twisted with something unpleasant. I frown, suddenly uneasy. Whatever Amy is going through, it doesn't look good. As soon as I reach out and touch her arm, that same white light engulfs my vision. When it puffs out, I find myself back in Illumia.
This is the inn from Illumia, isn't it?
Yeah. I look around. Yeah.
Greetings.
I whirl around. Amy is standing at the bar talking to Liana. I blink. Why does Amy see an illusion of Liana? The real Liana flushes.
I don't know.
Amy doesn't seem to even notice our presence. She continues on.
I am aware of the true location of Ember Mist.
My mind starts racing.
Wait, Ember Mist.
A light bulb goes off in my head. This is the day we first met Amy, when she asked to join our group. Liana nods, looking worried. Why would Amy's trial be something like this?
You're just a kid. You should go back to the academy. It's too dangerous out here for someone your age.
That's exactly where I thought it was going to go. Amelia turns pink. Someone as young as her? Realization washes over me like cold water. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us, as a group, are always babying her. Is this Amelia's worst fear? To always be seen as a child?
I think you are mistaken about my age. I am a student studying to be a mage caster. I have received top marks in all of my classes.
The fake Liana laughs, shaking her head.
Aw, that's adorable. Little Amelia gets top marks. Do you want me to give you a gold star sticker?
Amelia flinches as if the fake Liana had just struck her. Pain flashes behind her eyes. I've never seen her look this devastated before.
It would be a lot of work to protect you. I don't want to be a full-time babysitter while traveling.
Damn, this is harsh. Zack frowns as he sees Amy's distress. He shoves Liana towards her illusion.
Go out there and punch your fake self in the face!
Yes, because it worked for you.
What?
She stumbles, catching herself, and comes face to face with Amelia. Amelia blinks in surprise.
Why are there two of you?
The real Liana panics.
You can see me?
Yes.
The fake Liana gives real Liana a strange look as if to ask what she's doing there.
Don't listen to this imposter, Amy. You're the one that came out of nowhere. Clearly, you're the imposter.
Amy pauses.
Perhaps this is another trial.
Ding, ding, ding. That's why you're the brains of the group. She taps her chin in thought.
There is really only one way to settle this.
I don't want to know how this is going to end. Both Lianas stare at her. Knew there was a difference. I could see it. Their eyes look to be colored different. No, never mind. Her eyes look to seem colored different. Maybe that's just me, but let me know if you think the same way in the comments down below.
How?
Each of you must attempt a flirtatious encounter.
Oh my god. This is gonna be great. The fake Liana smirks.
This will be a piece of cake. I refuse!
Liana crosses her arms. Amelia doesn't even blink. She looks at the real Liana and nods.
I am certain of who the real Liana is, and I will no longer believe the lies of the other one.
The white light flashes instantly. It floods the room before fading away. A few seconds later, we find ourselves back at the temple. As our vision refocuses, Liana looks at Amelia.
How did you guess which one was me so quickly?
Cara interrupts before Amy can answer.
Because you're a prude.
Well then. Well then. Liana's eyes grow wide and she crosses her arms.
I am not.
Cara snickers. Liana looks to Zack, who shrugs.
You definitely are.
Please don't look at me. I don't want to have to go through this. She looks at me. After everything you've done to me in the last 24 hours, do you really want to ask for my help? She quickly looks away. My chest aches again with a fresh wave of pain. What I wouldn't give to be able to feel her affection once more. I shake my head, shaking away these thoughts. Don't shake them away, they're good thoughts. Amelia, who is still on the floor, rises to a stand. She rubs the back of her head in thought.
It is most interesting you were all able to join me in the same illusion. Was it the same for the rest of you?
Not really. We nod.
I see.
She still looks a bit bothered by what she saw in her illusion, but she crosses her arms.
Perhaps it would be best to keep moving. I believe that was a temple trial we just encountered. We must be close to the heart of the temple.
Probably. That's how every trial's gone. That's true. Normally, after completing a trial, we'd be sent into the room with the elemental.
Hey, do you guys see that?
She points to a door. The carvings on it are rather intricate. I can see some more symbols and elaborate swirls and whirls. It's a deep plum purple, standing out amongst the stone.
Do we attempt to open it?
Yes. Zack shrugs.
It's not like there's another option.
Let's go. I lead the way to the door and the others follow. We step through the door. Standing in the center, directly facing me, it's the shadow elemental. Well. She's very pretty. Her long hair falls delicately to her back, flowing around her gossamer gown. Her dress hugs her every curve. As I lift my gaze, her violet eyes meet mine. I open my mouth to speak when a gasp interrupts me. Wait, Amy can see her too? I glance over at my friends who are frozen in wide-eyed shock. Amy's eyes are the size of saucers. Her mouth is open in silent wonder. I can almost see the questions racing through her mind. Liana's expression is one of more quiet amazement. She carefully looks the elemental up and down. Zack slowly shakes off his surprise and resumes his usual expression, while Cara doesn't even bother to mask her appreciation. Wait, you can see her?
I sure can. No wonder you went ahead and kissed the last one.
Oh, you're gonna wait. I'm single now. I'm not gonna get in trouble. Always with the jokes, Cara. My gaze starts towards Liana. She pretends like it doesn't faze her, but she refuses to meet my eyes. She wouldn't anyways. Zack claps a hand on my back.
Guess you aren't crazy after all.
I might still be a bit crazy. Throughout the whole encounter, the Shadow Elemental's gaze remains on me. As I refocus on her, a small smile lights up her face. Her dress shimmers as she takes a step closer.
Child of the other world, you have finally arrived.
The hell? Her voice feels familiar yet strange, like a melody I can't quite place. It's quiet yet resounding, delicate but powerful. Holy talking elementals, Batman. Just play it off cool. This is the first, just be cool and let it happen. Oh, so you can talk. That's helpful.
Yes, I can speak.
Cool, cool. You're the first one to talk. None of the other elementals spoke.
Yes, for the safety of Mortalis Terra, they could not.
How come?
In order for us to manifest fully onto Mortalis Terra, it would drain a dangerous amount of energy. Because of that, my sisters have merely projected illusions of themselves to help guide you.
That makes sense. So, are you an illusion too? She shakes her head and her hair brushes alluringly over her chest.
Shadow energy is in excess here. I came seeking your aid.
My aid. You need my help?
Ether Terra, where I am from, and Mortalis Terra work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy. When Terrans use energy, it returns to Ether Terra. And when we use energy, it flows back to Mortalis Terra.
Okay.
This is the reason why maintaining the balance of energy is important. It is so both of our planes of existence can live and thrive upon our shared world.
This makes sense to me.
But we noticed an irregularity. Shadow energy was being used less on Mortalis Terra, and as a result, there was less shadow energy available in Ether Terra. But the other elemental energy usage remained unchanged.
Okay.
My people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands. Slowly, shadow energy increased in use until it was back in balance with the other elements. And yet, shadow energy continued to grow and grow, and now the imbalance has returned, with the scale tipped to shadow energy.
That must be because of Void tainting other magic to shadow.
Leanna's voice is soft, barely a whisper, but it surprises me nonetheless. The dip in shadow energy they felt in Ether Terra must have been a result in the ban of shadow magic after the Treaty of Asaria, and the spike must have occurred after Void began tainting spheres. For the first time, the shadow elemental's gaze slides over to Liana, who falls quiet, uncertain under scrutiny. The shadow elemental smiles softly, oh thank goodness. Her gaze continues to Zack, and then Cara, but lingers on Amy.
You have a strength and ability much greater than your age.
Amy continues to stare in awe. Speechless. She's too awestruck to speak. The shadow elemental smiles reassuringly. A gentle silence falls over us as I contemplate all she just said. This isn't what I was expecting.
Time is of the essence. I should not remain here much longer, but I'm sure you have questions.
A lot. My mind races with questions. There's an elemental and she's not from here and she's talking to me. That in itself is a lot to wrap my head around. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down and collect my thoughts. What is Ether Terra? What are you? What are the temples and their trials? Why me? How did you know that I would come and collect energy? Nope, no questions. Well, why me? That's the first thing. Was it you who brought me to Terra?
Yes.
Why? Why did you pick me?
We sensed the fortitude of magic ability on the parallel world was significantly stronger than here on Terra. So my sisters and I opened the rift to that world.
But why me? But why?
The humans from that world, your world, have a capacity for magic that is unseen here on Terra.
Go on. How is that possible? Earth has no magic. She shakes her head.
I do not have the answer to that.
That's the one question I want answered. That surprises me. I guess the elementals are not as all-knowing as I expected. They have their limitations too. But why did you choose me specifically? She looks at me.
We hoped that a champion from your world would help us, and so you traveled through the rift.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. So it was purely by chance that I was chosen. Alright, so let's go on down. What is Ether Terra? You said you're from Ether Terra. Where is that?
It's on Terra, but on a different plane of existence.
Okay. I furrow my brows. I see. It's a parallel world. No reason to be confused on this one. That explanation makes enough sense to me. So what are you exactly then? What is an elemental? She delicately cocks her head.
Your titles are not the same as ours. I'm not familiar with elementals.
That's the term Terrans use to refer to you.
Oh.
A smile plays at her lips, and she runs her fingers through her hair thoughtfully.
Elemental. I like it.
Good.
I am the Shadow Magistrate. As such, it is my responsibility to maintain the balance of shadow energy flow between Mortalis Terra and Ether Terra.
Got it.
And to balance the shadow element among the other elements.
Got it. That makes sense. That's quite interesting. She smiles. I can understand why Terrans view the elementals as deities, but it sounds like that's not the case. They're more akin to societal leaders. So what are these temples and their trials then? If Terrans built these temples for you, why do the temple trials exist?
Every elemental energy type is manipulated in a different way. The trials are created by us and tailored to determine the capacity one has to handle that energy.
So does that mean all of us are actually able to handle shadow energy?
The trials are implemented and watched over by the Guardians. They ensure the integrity of both the trials and the participants.
I remember the Firefox at the Fire Temple, but were the others... where were the other Guardians? How come I didn't see all of the Guardians at each temple?
The Guardians do not always appear. Some do not wish to be seen, but all are present within their temple.
The Firefox was pretty cool, though. I remember the trial in the Water Temple. I wonder if that imitation Amy was actually the Guardian in disguise. I see. She nods. So how did you know that I would come and collect energy? You were waiting for me. How did you know I'd come here or go to any of the temples?
We believed that you would naturally find the areas of high energy concentration, if only to find a way to return home.
Sneaky. Clever.
My sisters tried to guide you as much as they could.
I guess it was just lucky that we encountered Void and pieced together what was going on. How did you know I'd help you even after learning about Void?
We had faith in you.
Okay. Of course I'll help. That was risky. That was kind of a risky play, but you know what? Of course I'll help. And here I am. Your faith was well put. She nods. That's all I need to know for now. We should get moving and stop Void. Leanna stirs gently beside me, reminding me of her presence. I'd forgotten they were there still. Or they were still there. It makes sense that they remained quiet to let the Shadow Elemental explain. Cara steps forward.
Sorry to interrupt, but how come we can see you?
The Shadow Elemental turns to face her. Her hair floats behind her before falling back in place.
In this manifested state, I exist in your plane.
Cara digs an elbow into Zack.
And someone here didn't believe the elementals were real.
Since day one? He crosses his arms.
Yeah, well, someone also told us Void would be here, but I haven't seen them anywhere.
Don't jinx it. You're right. It's been quiet.
If they aren't here, then where would they be?
Besides this location, I can sense one other area with a strong congregation of shadow energy.
Amy nods, finding her voice again.
Perhaps that is where Void is located.
Is it nearby?
The elemental shakes her head.
No, but I can send you where you need to go.
We can teleport now? By opening a rift? She nods. Maybe she could send me home now? Don't say anything! Shut your face! Say nothing! We're doing this! I don't want to go home now. I want my waifu back. It's pretty helpful that she can open a rift. The elemental reaches out her hand. For a moment, nothing happens. But then a small purple hole the size of a pea tears open in the space in front of us. It eats the surrounding space until the opening is large enough for a person to fit through. I stare in awe as the jagged fabric of reality falls around it. That's probably pretty jaw-dropping. The rift opening is a rich lavender with no indication of where it leads. It feels ominous and familiar. My friends look stiffly at the rift, distrust and hesitation in their eyes. Only Amelia looks intrigued and excited by it.
The balance of the elements must be restored. We're counting on your help.
Yeah, I'm going. How come you don't come with us?
This temple has a tremendous amount of energy. It's safe for me to manifest here for a brief time, but I cannot manifest elsewhere, lest it cause irreparable harm to Mortalis Terra.
Gotcha. Amelia steps up to the rift, but the elemental stops her. She faces me again.
There is something I must give you first.
Uh-oh. She steps towards me, her dress billowing behind her. She reaches out her hands. Before she touches me, Leanna pulls me away. What?
Hold on.
What do you want? What? The shadow elemental remains frozen. Her eyes are expressionless as they land on Liana.
You've seen the kind of damage shadow magic can do. Are you sure it's safe for you to accept that?
I have no choice here. But yes.
Shadow magic on its own does not do harm, as is the same with any element.
But the corruption it can cause.
I put on a hand on Liana to reassure her. It'll be no different than when I absorbed any other element. Everything will be fine. Her brows are still creased with worry, but she nods and steps back. The shadow elemental places her palms around my face. Her initial touch is like getting hit with a snowball, an icy impact which fades into nothingness. A smooth stream of energy pours into me, soft as silk and as cold as ice. It freezes my bones, darkening my spirits. My teeth begin to chatter and my body shakes. My vision clouds as wave after wave of energy forces itself inside me. They cling to me and twist and crawl within me. I feel numb, yet my senses are heightened. It runs through my veins, weightless but present, like a shadow. Everything ceases at once when she breaks contact. I jolt back, blinking my eyes until my vision returns. She seems more translucent than before. Leanna rushes over to me.
Are you okay?
I think so. Yeah? I turn back to the elemental. Thank you. She nods.
I have done all I can. The rest is up to you.
Of course it is. My friends also look back at the elemental.
You can count on us to help.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, she got 2 words out of Zack.
Time was not so urgent. I have many questions I wish to ask of you, but I thank you for all you've done for us.
The shadow elemental nods and indicates the rift.
Please proceed with haste.
We must go. I hesitate, staring into the brightness. What happens if I walk through here? Amelia confidently steps through the rift.
Amy!
Well, I guess we gotta follow. Zack is right behind her here and Cara races after him. Only Liana and I remain. She looks over to me. As I meet her gaze, I nod, which she returns. She runs through. Stealing my nerves, I follow Liana into the rift. The brightness surrounds me, engulfing me until it's all I can see. The muted silence is deafening. My blood races through me, but I can barely feel the adrenaline. I feel like I'm suspended in crackling electric air. My legs wade through the light. It's thick and heavy, as if I'm wading through water. Time seems to slow, and yet, an instant later, I stumble out of the light and into a forest. When I turn back, I catch one last glimpse of the Shadow Elemental. She waves goodbye before the rift closes behind us. Oh my god, this place looks terrifying. Before I have a chance to get my bearing, Cara immediately pulls me down. I'm about to protest, but she puts a finger to her lips. She points to a row of bushes keeping us from sight. I nod my understanding and stay quiet. Looking around, I see the tall trees overhead form a thick canopy, blocking out the sun. The tree trunks are thick and gnarled. Many of them have heavy scarring. The grass beneath my feet feels thin and hard. When I look further out, the landscape changes to a barren patch of dry ground flocked with craters. It looks like some serious damage took place here. Footsteps sound nearby. I see a patrol group pass close to us. I hold my breath as they walk by. Luckily, they don't spot us. When they're out of sight, I breathe a sigh of relief. Cara relaxes slightly, as do the rest of my teammates. Where are we?
It would appear we are on the former battleground of the Battle of Asaria.
Wow, that's pretty intense. I take another look at the harsh land. It must have been a really intense battle to have scarred the landscape this much. Leanna looks at her manipulator.
I'm scanning extremely high levels of shadow energy here.
Then we are in the right place.
As am I. It is without question this is where Void's main base of operation is.
She fiddles with her manipulator.
And the energy type is specific to being transmuted into tainted energy.
We're definitely in the right
Can't say
spot.
I'm surprised.
Same.
This doesn't add up. You would think a place where Void was last strongest would be a place that would be monitored.
Maybe not.
According to the Mage Guild reports, they do monitor here.
Then what gives?
Corruption.
The shadow energy here is vast. It would appear Void has used this to their advantage, to not only mask their energy signature, but to also shroud themselves from the eyes of scouts. We, however, appear to have pierced the veil by being on the inside of it.
The Shadow Elementals sent us inside the defenses. That's helpful. Void shouldn't be underestimated. They're dangerous, but not stupid.
Look there!
Leanna points into the distance. Tendrils of shadow crawl towards the sky. They flicker and dance above the skyline. Amelia checks her manipulators again.
That location has the highest concentration of energy.
And that's where we're go. That's where we're going to go.
Then that's where we need to go to stop them.
The group readies themselves as Zack surveys the surroundings.
There's a lot of ground between us and them. Not to mention all the patrols, guards, and lookouts they'll have.
We've got to move quickly and quietly then.
He is right. One does not simply walk into the heart of Void's operation.
Really? We just walked into Mordor. What if I use shadow magic? Cara can sneak us in. You know, could I use shadow magic? But I gotta have some faith that Cara can get us through. I don't necessarily want to rely on this right now. I don't think shadow magic's gonna help us here just yet. It'll be a nice surprise for later, but Cara could sneak us in. Isn't Cara good at the whole sneaking business?
I am, but there's too much open ground. Plus, we're traveling in a group.
Right. That was a stupid suggestion. I didn't know there was open ground. But maybe I can use my newfound energy. I think I have a way. They look at me. I have shadow magic now. What if we turn it around on them and I'll shroud us in a shadow cloak? They seem skeptical.
You've never cast shadow magic before.
I can try. I close my eyes and focus on the icy emptiness I felt when the shadow energy poured into me. I remember its soft, biting touch. I raise my hand, and a dark bubble of shadow engulfs us. It's reminiscent of the bubble Amelia encased us in at the water temple. Zack and Cara inspect the bubble, poking cautiously at the sides. Liana seems impressed.
You did it!
Of course, I'm a natural.
Most impressive, although not surprising considering his previous mastery of the elements.
Whatever, shut up, get inside, let's go.
Let us make haste.
Agreed, we're going to make haste and make our way into the Void operations next time. I'm going to end the episode here. We're really close to the end, I feel. And I think the next one's going to be a biggie. But, as always, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button down below or leaving a comment. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to unleash your power by hitting that subscribe button down below today as well. And I will see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.